How you doing, everyone? It's Kevin. I'm back with another little video here. I'm going to be building a 72-inch grinder. And I noticed on YouTube there's a lot of people using roller skate wheels or skateboard wheels. So I'm going to try to use some skateboard wheels, but you know, I haven't seen anybody show me how to taper these wheels for the sanding. You know, you want that taper on the wheel. So I actually chucked one up in my metal lathe here, and I started cutting on it, and I'll tell you what, it don't cut very good. But I started using a little piece of sandpaper on it, and it seems like the sandpaper does a little bit better job. So I was going to do a little video on how I'm going to get these wheels, at least a couple of them, I'm going to taper them. So I'll show you what I got and what happened so far. Okay, as you can see so far, I started using the bit on the lathe, and it really don't cut it. It just kind of chunks it off. It's not real good. So I figured, well, I'll try a piece of sandpaper just to see what happens. And it seemed to do a better job with the piece of sandpaper. I heard of one guy saying he took a belt sander or something and rounded his. So I thought, well, what if I could just put it in the metal lathe and just run the sandpaper over it? Maybe I can get it to cut. So, I'll show you how it works here. I got it on high speed. I don't know whether I should have it on high or low. So that's actually taking it down pretty good. What I might do is take a piece of this emery cloth and maybe, I don't know, maybe staple it to a board. And maybe I could use like a small board to taper the ends of this so I can get a pretty good taper. So I'm going to go ahead and try to rig a piece of this rough sandpaper. I don't even know what this is. It's pretty rough. Well, anyhow, I'll see if I can get a piece of this sandpaper on a board. We're going to see if it'll work on this a little better. Okay, so I just took a piece of sandpaper, put a piece of board in here, and got me a piece of sandpaper and just stapled it to it. I'm hoping this works out a lot better. Well, I can see it's already starting to take it down, so I think this may work. I'm just wondering if I should turn the speed down a little bit. Look, it's actually taking the paper off already. Let me see if I turn the speed down a little bit. Seems like it's working. Sandpaper looks alright, and we're already getting it down a little bit. I can see that it's going down. Hold on a minute. If I lay a little scale on there, I can see it's tapered a little bit on this side, so this may work. I don't know what else to use, but I'm going to go a little bit on this and see what I can do with it. Okay, I've been sitting here tinkering with the sandpaper, and it just seems like it's going to take forever. So what I did, I went over there and I got some of my wood chisels. This is an old wood chisel, and it's pretty sharp on the edge. So I turned this thing on and started working it, and it's cutting it down actually pretty quick, a lot quicker than these other little blades were. So I'm going to try this wood chisel a little more and see what happens. We're just taking little bits at a time. It's definitely tapering it. I think this is going to be the way to go. I think this is actually going to work nice on these wheels. Maybe once I get it down like this here, I could take the sandpaper over it after it's down like that and smooth it out. I think that's going to work. I'm going to look around and see if I could get a bar that'll go all the way across on my metal lathe here, and I'll clamp it down in here and see if that will give me enough room to go all the way across with this little chisel. And I'll just chisel these out and then we'll sand them down. I think this is going to work. Okay, I found me a piece of stock here, square stock, bolted it down in there, and I'm going to use it to hold my chisel on, and I think I pretty much got the middle. Now these skates are not a full 2 inches. They're only they're about 1 3/4 inches, maybe not quite 1 7/8 inches, but I think they're going to be okay. Now I'm not sure how much of a round I need on here, but I'm not going to do much more than what I have there, but I'm going to go right up to the middle here. I'm going to try doing the other side now. That's putting a nice taper on that wheel. I don't want to go too crazy. I think what I'm going to do now is just sand the wheel down, and hopefully that'll give me the bevel that I need. Let me give you a straight on shot of this thing. You can see right there that I do have a taper on that. If you look, looks like I got more on one side than the other. So if I hold that on straight, looks like I need to do a little bit more over here. But maybe the sanding will take that out. I'm not sure. I don't want to go too crazy with them. Well, I was trying to use a little finer piece of sandpaper just to smooth it out a little bit better. I don't know. I kind of like the way this looks. Let me get you guys over here and let you show you just a little closer, straight down on that wheel. I don't think I'm too bad on that wheel. Looks like this side here might need to go just a little bit more. And I might just try to keep doing that with the sandpaper. Well, I'll tell you one thing, this stuff will chew up sandpaper. Well, we know our wheel's running true, being in the lathe like that. So when it spins on that thing, it's on the sander, it should be true. I'm probably going to have to get some more sandpaper here, a little better piece of rough. It's real rough here. We'll take a good piece of paper over it. Okay, I think I'm done with this wheel. I think it looks good. It's got a nice little bevel to it, not too much. Compared to the regular wheel, you can see it's pretty square. Get you over here. It's pretty square, and you can see the round hump on that. I think that's going to work. Now, if it's not enough, I could always draw it back in the vise or in the little lathe here and turn it down some more if I have to. But I think that might be just enough on there. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to show you guys how I chucked it up in there. That way you'll know. And all I did was, Let me unplug this machine. I try to unplug it because if you don't watch, you hit that button over there. Of course, you could turn that off too. But what I did is I stuck a bolt down through the center and I left the bearings in it. The bearings are still in this guy. If I take this bolt out, the bearings are going to be in there. And all I did was use a washer, and this washer actually fit perfect in there and squeezed against the outside of the bearing. So this wheel, I think this is going to be fine. I really do. I'm going to go ahead and cut down another one. So not too bad. Nice little taper. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just gathering up pieces to this 72-inch grinder that I'm going to make. And the only thing that I have so far is the wheels. So I'm going to be making videos as I get the stuff to make this sander, the 72-inch sander. As I get this stuff and make like the wheels, I'm just going to do a separate video on this because I don't want to take too long of a video. So I'm going to have to do it in kind of parts. In different parts, but this is my first step. So I'm going to keep gathering parts, and we'll see if we can get us a sander going. Now I looked everywhere on YouTube trying to find out how these guys cut these wheels down and kind of got the bevel in them. And I noticed though some of them didn't even cut a bevel in them. I don't know if that's good or not. Of course, I've never built a 72-inch grinder before either. So that's how I got the bevel, the round on my wheel. Now let's say you don't have a lathe. I don't see why you couldn't take this thing and stick it in a drill press. Put it in a drill press and then take your vise, stick it right up underneath of it, and take a flat bar and stick up the side of it. So your drill will come down, put your vise in there, clamp a piece of flat stock like I just did there, that square stock, up along the side, and get you a cheap V chisel like this one. Now this one is sharp right here on this side, but up in the top it's flat. So it's kind of wedged up that way. So if you could get one of these and put that in a drill press, I really couldn't see why you couldn't just go down it the same way I'm doing with this lathe. Now if I was going to do it and I didn't have a lathe, that's what I'd do. I'd stick it in the drill, I'd clamp my vise down nice and tight, and then I'd put me a piece of square stock right up next to the side of the wheel, straight up like this. And then I'd use my chisel and work on that, but just do it really lightly back and forth on there, just enough to cut it down, and then take the sandpaper. And that's how I got my wheel. So I'd like to tell everybody thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave me thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment if you'd like. Till next time.